Hello. I am going to keep my lecture part of this short because I found this amazing TED Talk that talks about sleep. But I thought one thing I'd like to talk about is sort of the states of consciousness. And in particular, I wanted to talk about sleep and dreams, or sleep. So, what happens when we sleep? Why do we sleep? And so I've included a link on this slide, but I'm going to ask you to watch the TED Talk video posted on the lecture material, and that will about why do we sleep, evolutionary wise, historically, and so forth. But I'm just going to finish reviewing my slides for the purposes of this lecture. So let's just go through the basics. There are 4 stages of sleep, and as you can see, what changes between each stage is the brain waves and the pattern. So in stage 1, we're transitioning from wakefulness and sleep. So they're a rapid low amplitude. So when you think about amplitude, think about a waveform. So smaller waveforms. And stage 2 is when it's slower, more regular waveforms. Um, Stage 3, you see slow brain waves, but you have higher peaks, so higher amplitude and lower valleys of waves. So if you think about, the peak of a mountain and a valley, we live in, I live in the Pioneer Valley, so they're really low, there's very deep lows. And stage 4 is the deepest stage, where we're least responsive to outside stimulation, and I believe that this is REM sleep. So, if we look, or non-REM sleep is stage 4. So, just looking at this cartoon, I think it's important to note how it's labeled. So, the more that we move down the page, the deeper we are in sleep. Okay? There are 4 stages. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4. Also, as it's pointed out by this diagram, as the sleep becomes deeper, the brain waves become slower and slower. So as you can see here, and these are called sleep spindles, when you're awake, the waveforms are fast. They change in size, they change in amplitude. So in stage 1, as we saw in the previous diagram, we are transitioning from awake to asleep. Here we start seeing sleep spindles. Stage 3, you see slower waves with higher amplitude and lower valleys. Stage 4, I'm sorry, that was stage 4. And then you reach REM sleep. So what is REM sleep? REM sleep is when you have increased heart rate, blood pressure, breathing rate. This is when you experience dreaming. If you've ever held a newborn baby, you can see their eyes moving back and forth. You can see this with adults too. And just a sort of personal plug here, I want to show this. So this is the Sleep Research Society, and my dad he's passed away, but he was a prominent sleep researcher and received let's see, so in 2000, so Gerald Vogel, MD, is my dad, the Career Achievement Award. So he was very proud of this, and he did a lot of research looking at REM sleep and how that affects dreams. And so one of the findings that he discovered in collaboration with his colleagues is that there was a theory that people with schizophrenia have REM sleep-like patterns when they're awake because they're delusional. And he disproved that. Well, sorry, not disproved. I'm correcting myself here. He said that the evidence based on that study did not support the theory because we cannot prove a hypothesis, right? Okay, so I think just moving back, that one of the things I really like about this book is that they sort of give multiple ways to learn. So even just going through these slides with you, which I've already, I've read it in the textbook, I've read it in other textbooks, this information, I learned so much by just looking at the same information presented in different ways. So here you're seeing words, but in sort of a flow figure, whereas here you're seeing an actual diagram and a visualization of the sleep brain waves itself. So I really hope that you enjoy this TED Talk. I think he does a beautiful job connecting a lot of the research we've sort of been talking about in terms of brains, our brains and our understanding and how it controls our behavior, as well as sleep and the importance of sleep. So I look forward to hearing questions, comments, and as always, I look forward to learning with you. Thank you for your time.